Now that Thunderbolts has been out for a little while, it's been really nice to see the world and the movie community in general kind of coming around the MCU again, being a little bit optimistic for the future. And while this is coming from somebody who was completely, like, I was off the Marvel train. I was like, I'm not going to be excited for anything that they're doing right now. But Thunderbolts has brought people back on the train and excited. So we have a quote from Bob Iger, and we are going to be taking a look at 2 viral tweets about the state of Marvel and what's to be expected. We're going to take a look at what the internet had to say about that. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. So let me bring you over to the 2 posts right now. Discussing Film posted this. Bob Iger says that Thunderbolts is the first and best example of Marvel's new focus on quality over quantity. By consolidating a bit and having Marvel focus much more on their films, we believe that it will result in better quality. That wasn't the only thing that we wanted to take a look at, though. There was another post by Culture Crave. Kevin Feige reportedly told Marvel colleagues that watching every new MCU project had begun to feel more like homework than entertainment. Employees talk regularly about Marvel fatigue and worry they've created a no new fans club where viewers have no clue what's going on. So those are the 2 things that I wanted to talk about. And I also need to mention that I haven't been able to watch Thunderbolts. I'm going based off the fact that everybody is very happy about it. I'm hearing what a good movie it is. Is it a perfect movie? No, but it's enough where people are getting a little bit driven back onto the MCU train. I can't wait to watch Thunderbolts, and I actually live like 30 seconds from a movie theater. It's just I have a baby, and it's very difficult for my wife and I to get out nowadays. So I'm happy for this. I can't wait to watch it, but I have the overall feeling on what people are like, how people are feeling about this entire thing. For the no new fans thing and Marvel fatigue, I personally don't think that exists. I think they're just tired of movies, not being to the certain quality that we've had within the Infinity Saga. I like the quality over quantity idea, but pushed out as much as you can, as long as it's just focused on being a good movie. Now, I always have to be very careful when I talk about this, because I ask that you don't make any assumptions about me. I keep my own beliefs, and especially when it comes to any political area, private when it comes to YouTube. So I ask that you don't assume anything about how I feel about these things, okay? What we can't ignore is that, especially in the MCU with Disney, they've been pushing and they've been really focusing on politics instead of, creating the best movie possible. That seems to have been their main priority. Feels like a little bit they're taking a back seat on that. I think no matter what, if you have a message to deliver your message. I don't care. The priority should be making an entertainment movie and not like filling holes where you need to fill the holes or making sure that your message is brought out, okay? Those are the issues that I believe Marvel has had. And I don't know, I guess it really has felt a little bit like homework to catch up with some Marvel shows, but there have been shows that I personally haven't watched. I started watching Falcon the Winter Soldier. I personally just wasn't interested. I stopped watching it. I loved Loki. I loved WandaVision. I don't even know if I've given another show a chance. I've heard Hawkeye was okay, but I haven't watched that. So there's been some problems within the MCU, but again, it seems like we're getting a little bit back on track right now. I ended up posting this over on X. I'd like to make a video on this soon, so if you have any thoughts, drop them below and I will include some. Thank you very much. And if you would like to join the conversation, follow me over on X at Clen YouTube, where you can find the 2 links in the description at the top of the description with the link tree or the direct link also in the description there. Like and subscribe if you have not already, guys. Let's see what people had to say about this, okay? Start every movie with a 3-minute catch-up previously in the MCU. I actually don't mind that. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. Especially if people like miss something very important from the shows. Another thing that they need to do is, obviously, not everybody is going to be catching up with the shows, so maybe we leave like some ridiculously important information outside of the shows, but I'd be okay with that. Start with a previously in the MCU thing. Keep political and cultural issues out and hire a good director. Revenue will skyrocket. I ask that you don't assume anything about my own beliefs. I'm just looking at this from a logical standpoint on what actually is going on. Political and cultural issues seem to be at the forefront of what they are working on right now. Well, not at like this present moment, but what they've been doing since Endgame, okay? We know that they're very capable of building a good story and building a good world, building a good universe. Why not have that be the priority again? Then have your message. I don't care personally, okay? Wyatt had this to say. Well, they did a great job with Thunderbolts, and I really hope that's a sign of what's to come. We need more of that. The problem with this is, and I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the video, of course they would say this. You make a great movie. Everybody's happy about it. And then if you were in charge of all of this, if you're working along Disney, you'd be like, yeah, you like Thunderbolts? Just wait until this next movie. So no matter what, people are going to want to tune into it. I'm not personally convinced. And again, I'm sorry, I haven't watched Thunderbolts yet. I haven't had the chance to. I intend on watching it. But let's say I watch it and I do really, really, really love it, no matter what, that's not going to be enough convincing for me to be like back on the MCU train. I'm still skeptical about what's going to come. I'm still skeptical of them disappointing me. I'm worried about Avengers Doomsday with Robert Downey Jr. and everything like that. But the Russo brothers are kind of like, okay. They're kind of coming in. You know what? I trust them a little bit. So I just need to be proven right. Give me 2, maybe 3 good movies, and then I will be back on the train, okay? Thunderbolts kind of proved for me that you won't feel fatigued if you just stop releasing mediocre garbage. It was nice to feel like I was watching a real movie for a change and not an overlong filler episode of a TV series that hasn't been good for 3 seasons. To be honest with you, I think that's a good point. I'm interested in the reply over there. I don't disagree with this, but you have to see the irony of praising a movie that is based off of characters we're all introduced in mediocre Disney Plus projects except Bucky and Ghost. That's a fair take, but I understand what the original tweet was saying, to be honest with you. I do agree the fatigue doesn't exist. They just need to focus on making a very, very solid movie. It really is that simple. Do what you did throughout the entirety Infinity Saga, okay? James Gunn said years ago that superhero fatigue wasn't real. The problem was that good creative and storytelling was no longer present in Marvel and DC projects. Well said, and this is I trust James Gunn, and that's why I'm going to be following him over to Superman. I never really liked Superman. I've never liked him as a hero. Sorry, I don't know if you were watching this video and she was like twitching or something, but she just started having a really bad dream. I don't know if the mic ended up picking that up, so sorry for the pause over there. But what I was saying was I enjoy James Gunn's work, and as somebody who's not a superhero fan, I'm interested to see what he's going to be doing with that, so I will absolutely be following over there, okay? It's not Marvel fatigue, it's mid fatigue. Just cook some good crap. Yep. The reply said, it's definitely Marvel fatigue. The hype isn't there. Even with well-made movies or series, people just don't care for it because they assume they won't understand it without watching every other Marvel movie and series in existence. I personally don't agree with that, but I'd love to know what you guys think about it in the comments section down below, because I'm not sitting on that opinion. But if they start cooking good movies and they get enough traction, people will watch those movies and they will look forward to what's next. So I'm on team just stop making mid movies. Doomsday better be this good or this quote is going to age so badly. Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't think anyone's going to come back to this quote, to be honest. Too bad they're still releasing Ironheart in the summer. Guys, I think you should give it a chance. Like, I am all for giving movies a chance. Will I go see Ironheart? I have no desire to see Ironheart, to be honest with you, but I enjoy the movie theater experience whenever I can get out at this point with my wife and go watch a good movie, or like watching a movie. I'm happy just eating the popcorn, just sitting with my wife, having a good time. So the movie, if it sucks, it sucks. I'm okay with it, but I understand if people don't want to spend their money on Ironheart. Nothing about it is appealing, okay? Studios mishandle their properties and then blame the audience and fatigue. We didn't mind 3 Marvel movies a year back when Marvel was good. Just make good stories. I agree with that. I completely agree with that. Well said. I have absolutely nothing to add to that. Let's continue on to TCMF games. Focus on films. Focus on shows. I don't mind the idea of them focusing on shows. Just make the show something that like everybody's got to watch because it's that good. From Disney, I haven't watched this. From Disney, what I hear is Andor's the must watch. But how often you hear anything from like, oh, you guys got to go watch this Disney Plus show? Prime has that. Prime has the shows that are must watches. Emmanuel had this to say, they should have focused on the cinematic universe and kept TV shows minimal. Now it feels like homework, having to watch Loki just to understand the Void and Deadpool and Wolverine. It just feels boring and made me lose interest in the MCU. That's a really good point. That never occurred to me because I watched Loki and I understood the Void. How many things have I seen in the MCU that I haven't understood now? That's never occurred to me. But the whole problem with that is, I don't think like you really, for something like Deadpool and Wolverine, you don't really need to understand the Void. It's just like a silly movie. But I get your point. I think I agree with that. Okay, Muffin Man had this to say. I think this is good. Marvel doesn't need to get organized again. Thunderbolts was pretty good, and now they're trying to make their movies and shows more entertaining and less work feeling. I trust Kevin, and I feel like him and Marvel will cook and save the MCU even more. I trust the Russo brothers more than anybody, and I'm so skeptical about them just bringing Robert Downey Jr. back, but at the same time, I'm like, I do trust the Russo brothers, though, so I'm going to give them a chance, man. Hopefully, they please us, okay? Cap, if they're going to do another Deadpool and Wolverine type slop fest, yeah, they have to. If they have one movie like Deadpool and Wolverine every once in a while that's just, like, entertaining for the sake of being entertaining, doesn't really connect to the story, there's no issue with that. The entire world loved that. And the reply over there, they probably will. People ate that up. You can intertwine those movies. Like, look what they were doing in the first few Deadpool movies. How did that really affect the MCU? And I don't even know if it was necessarily part of the MCU. I know this recent Deadpool Wolverine one was part of the MCU, but you get my point. They've released Deadpool movies before. It had no effect on the Infinity Saga. They can do it again. It was a major, major success, okay? It's a good film, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Without the big guns, Thor, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, etc., the Marvel films will not make as much profit as they did before. But they can build up new superheroes. Just make sure you make Ironheart good. I don't know what other superhero movies they have planned, to be honest with you, but you can make these as big as Thor, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. Build them up. The Infinity Saga took 10 years to do so. They made great movies over the course of 10 years, taking their sweet time. You can build up characters. Just make sure you do it well, like you did the first time. I personally think they're rushing a little too fast into the next Avengers movie. That homework thing is kind of an urban myth. I know people who didn't watch WandaVision and still got Multiverse of Madness just fine. And a recent example, Thunderbolts, you don't need to watch anything else, everything you need is in the movie. Yeah, for the most part, but I don't know. I'd have to look into like exactly what there is to understand. I haven't kept up on all the shows and I've understood movies just fine. I don't feel the need to watch all of the TV shows. I have no interest in watching the TV shows. Just make the movies good, make them connect to each other, build a new Marvel Cinematic Universe, one that captured all of our attentions like I had growing up. Guys, I would love to know what you think about this down below in the comments. Also, I did make a video a while ago talking about my worries with Robert Downey Jr. and them bringing him back. I love the guy, but it makes me worried for the story. You can check out that video right here. I would love to have you over there. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, guys.